Hello, welcome to the dollhouse. I am the doll. Y'all, I am sorry about yesterday's audio. I didn't really listen to the video after I made it. I just uploaded it, and I know it sounded like I was recording live from a tin can, but I appreciate your patience with me, and I do hope that today's broadcast is a little more pleasant. Today I am talking about why the American enslaved have to stop idealizing Black Wall Street. And they have to stop idealizing separationist ideas. Separationism, I guess. And what I'm saying is that electing to be segregated and wanting to be separate from other communities, other populations of Americans, it's not a reality that is in line with what Dr. King was trying to move toward, even what Malcolm X or El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz wanted to move toward at the end of their lives. We really want to take ownership into this country because we put so much work in. And trying to separate, it really begs the question, are the sons and daughters of the American enslaved ready to shed the blood that it will take to conquer a land and make it their own? Do you see what's happening in Palestine and in, the Gaza Strip and with Israel? This is the volatility that's been going on for hundreds of years. War crimes, loss, bloodshed, all of that that's the cost of doing business in land, nation claiming. In the history of the world, if you want to establish your own nation, you have to claim it by blood. You have to claim it by blood. Not by paying for the land and separating it and still paying taxes on the old sovereign nation. That it doesn't work like that. And when Black people think about Black Wall Street, they really idealize and romanticize the time period, the way of life, the fact that there were businesses. Now, that was fantastic. Now, Black Wall Street was 103 years ago. And in order to recreate an area like Black Wall Street, it's totally possible, for the neighborhoods where there are large numbers of Black people. There could be booming businesses in those neighborhoods. It just seems that it's hard to maintain that energy. The energy of Black Wall Street has not been maintained. And it's neither here nor there. It was over 100 years ago. And during that time, we look back at it as, a picturesque, ideal time, like what was portrayed in Key and Peele. They used to have a show on the Comedy Channel. And I think they called the ideal Black utopia, it was like, it wasn't Blackistan, it was Colored Town or something like that. But we might romanticize Black Wall Street and look back at it just like it's this perfect place where everybody's dancing in the street. There are no white women to steal your man. That's the trope. That's what Key and Peele made fun of. Just the things that would make a Black utopia perfect. And I think that people today would love to recreate that in their own country. I know that the Nation of Islam is one organization that wants to separate from America, and they want to be gifted states like Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. And never in history has that worked for a nation to be gifted, or, a group of people to be gifted land by the sovereign country and just told, okay, you can have this. You can have this with no consequence. We will let you be a rival nation with resources that we used to have, and you can owe us nothing. People might say, oh, well, we paid in blood. Our ancestors paid with their slave work. We paid already. We paid our debt. And some people might say that. But the reality is that that's not how things work. That's not how people get what they want. By making demands that have no offering. There is even nothing to barter or give that would make that a enticing offer. Like, let us just have this land for free. Well, what does the United States get in return for losing land, resources, the people, the tax base? It just isn't going to be a situation where Black people are given 3 states to move to. Not going to happen. I just left a family gathering, and I sat next to a lady who I didn't know. She was very polite, and she started going in about how she got a pacemaker put in like a month ago. She even showed the scar with the stitches still taped. It was a trip. And every other thing she said was about how she takes her daughter to a dance class. Of course, the proprietor was Black. She goes to a Black doctor, and the primary care physician was Black. And of course, the teachers that her grandchildren are taught under are Black. Like, not talking about just the general people and professions. Everything that she mentioned, she related it back to race. And if the tables were turned, and if we were at a party, and there were white people at this party too, mind you. If we were at a party full of white people, and we're the only brown people in the place, and we overhear somebody talking about how, well, my daughter, I take her over here to this dance academy. The teacher's white. So essential. And also their primary care provider is white too. I just love that. I mean, we got to support one another. And also, I just went over to this bakery. This white lady owns it. She's from around here. It would make the hair on the back of their neck stand up. It would make people nervous. And that's the hypocrisy that I think grows out of idealizing things like the Black Wall Street and the Tulsa race massacre, feeling wronged. Of course, that was atrocious. The act that occurred then was terrible. And it's devastating that a lot of Black communities were decimated after that, and in ways that were similar to that. So, yeah, that's history. We are here now, living in the present, and we have to ask ourselves, what is it that we are really looking for? Are the sons and daughters of the American enslaved looking to truly separate themselves, or to integrate into society and own the contributions made by the ancestors and feel proud to be a part of this land? Just really appreciating what it is that we have, because if you don't appreciate what you have, you get less of it. The more that you appreciate the things that you have, the more of those things you receive. Where you put your attention grows. you know, wherever attention goes, grows. That makes sense to me, and I hope it makes sense to you. I know this was kind of all over the place, but it just, sometimes I'm curious about why people develop this separatist mentality. It's like, what are you planning to do with that? What kind of America are you creating with this separatist mentality and feeling like you are not a citizen of the United States of America? And there's so much suffering around you. I don't understand that sentiment. I guess everybody feels like they're suffering in some way. White, black, it doesn't matter. But to really kind of inconvenience yourself by being hyper focused on race rather than your responsibilities as a citizen of the community, and also reaping the benefits of serving and being a good citizen. If you're focused on the hardships and the race disparities that you can perceive, you will just get more of the race disparities that you are perceiving. So, again, I appreciate you for being here. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section, and we'll talk soon.